All right, welcome into another episode of the Lowdown Sports Show. This show is brought to you by the Basketball Podcast Network, presented by DraftKings. I'm your host, Drew,
I'm BJ.
and we're here to get the lowdown on all things basketball. Episode 26 here in season 3. Got a myriad of things to pop up and talk about in the NBA. I forgot about a couple before we came into this, so I was like, I got to throw those in there. Some historic things happened, but
Pretty
we just
historic, yeah.
by the time we end up recording and this episode goes out, it's been almost a week. But I mean,
Yeah.
still got to talk about it nonetheless. Got some WNBA affiliated things. We're not specifically talking WNBA, but it's AU season, Athletes Unlimited, and I got to go out there and visit on Sunday, and I'll be back hopefully again on Saturday for some more AU hoops, and we'll be
Heck yeah.
talking about that.
Heck yeah.
BJ's best, what's on Drew's mind, and that game of With It or Quit It will be playing there at the end. Of course, that is what is on tap today. And as soon as that guy over there tells us he's ready to go in that Mavericks hat.
I am ready, and that's why we're going to start things off with the Dallas Mavericks. I planned accordingly, Drew. We got to talk some about the Mavs struggles that we've seen the past couple weeks.
We do need to talk about the Mavs, and that's how we'll start it off. As BJ said, Mavs are struggling now in the early stages of the Luca Kyrie tandem. Only one win of this duo,
Mm-hmm.
1-4.
Yeah.
They've all been close games, though, BJ. Granted, they're all losses. I mean, but it's, kind of the struggle of how do you go about the end of games. And, they've been trying to include Kyrie in it. And, I mean, he got a good look recently in their last game, but it was seemed like almost like a forced look in a way and not the best look. So that's probably part of their struggles here, and it's just finishing these games here. Mavs have had those problems. Interior defense is just not something that they have at their disposal
Mm-hmm.
this year. Need to start looking at guys that are out there that can protect the rim. I don't know why we're not giving Dwight Howard a little bit of a call. I mean, he's not the Dwight Howard of old, but he just did that job 3 years ago with the
Yeah.
Lakers and helped them get their championship. And
Yeah.
he's still balling. I mean, he's not in this league; he's in Taiwan, but he's still in shape. He is still playing the game, and he wants to be back in this league. And I mean, I'm sure it's not going to cost too much to get Dwight. And I've seen the MFFLs on Twitter, claiming for Nerlens Noel. Well, I mean, give Noel another shot, I guess. If you don't give Dwight a call, you don't have a whole lot of options. You don't want to try Serge Ibaka. I mean, that's probably the worst option of the three,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not even a center which you need as opposed to the power forward. I mean, you could slide Ibaka down, but we need some true centers that protect the rim.
Yeah.
Um, so these struggles for the Mavs, they can't last forever, right, BJ?
Well, it's you would think that that would be the case. You would think that they're not going to struggle forever. But you harped on a really good point. It's not just interior defense, Drew, that is the problem. It's the defense in general. What made the Mavericks so good last season, what helped propel them on their run to the Western Finals, was they put that emphasis on defense. They brought in Spencer Dinwiddie, and they started playing better basketball defensively, and that's what helped them in a lot of these close games to win them. I'm not saying that Dinwiddie is Kyrie Irving. He's certainly not, and it's an improvement of sorts, but it's also a downgrade. You're losing a bit of defense, but you're getting more offense. In all four of the losses, Drew, that the Mavs have suffered under Kyrie when Kyrie and Luka played together,
Mm-hmm.
all four they have been both teams have been over the 110 mark, or well, I should say, well, the 108 mark was the low point on Sunday in that game against the Lakers. But a 27-point lead, you should not be losing a game when you lead by 27 points. That they're the only team that has done that this year. A
Yeah.
game against Indiana that you feel like you had a good shot to win, you didn't get the right look there, and that didn't fall. The game against Minnesota, you lose that by 3. You had a big comeback yourself in that game before the break, but they trap Luca, they trap Kyrie. They don't even get a shot off. There's nobody gets the. That's the what's most frustrating about that game is that you had a chance to send it into overtime. but you didn't even get a look off. You didn't get to shoot. And then Sacramento, they won one out of the two the night before, and they lose this one in overtime. It's tough to win back to back. That one's, in my mind, the one that's the not the one that I'm going to harp on certainly, but you
Right.
know, you feel like the 3 games coming out of the All-Star break, you had a really good chance to go 3-0, and here you are sitting at 1-2 with two losses by a combined 5 points and a blowout over a San Antonio team that outside of playing on their home court has just not really been able to keep it close with anybody here so far this year. I think that this is gonna, there it's just trying to mesh together the chemistry and say, instead of saying you need to force a look, we need to, we need to come up with a strategy where somebody's gonna have a look. Somebody's gonna have to step up, even if that's not a Kyrie or a Luca, because that's where a lot of the attention is gonna go in crunch
Hmm.
time. And until they get that figured out, where they're gonna have, the ability to do such a thing and be able to make good on these crunch time opportunities. I mean, they've got a game tonight against the Sixers, and I don't even see this one really being a close game going getting down to crunch time. The way their interior defense has been, I
Hmm.
think the Sixers are going to just capitalize big inside. Joel Embiid, he might be going for 70 tonight.
Yeah, we certainly hope not.
We
But
hope not,
yeah,
but
Mavericks should
maybe
be
it's a
3 and
little
0.
hyperbole, but
Yeah, Mavericks should be post uh 3 and 0 post All-Star break. I mean, especially these last two were pretty ugly, and
yeah.
we talked about the 27-point comeback, and should have beat the Pacers. You
Hmm.
know, there's been a lot of negativity, and rightfully so, being pointed toward Jason Kidd. Like, what has Kidd been doing as a coach? And they also can't seem to figure out the rotations um, with this trade,
Hmm.
and how they want to do things. And it, I haven't gotten to see these last few games. You just hear when you see your team is up by so many points. You sometimes just click away because you know how it's supposed to end. You
Yeah.
know, and in the Pacers situation, I just wasn't available. But um, what is the issue with this team besides the defense? Seems like we're all pointing now to Kid. And the question is will Jason Kidd stay this team's coach for the foreseeable future? Because it doesn't seem like it may be happening. Because Mavericks, I mean, and this is super early. I mean, we're just a few games in it.
Yeah,
This is it's
this is
it's bad.
season 2.
It's
This
a
is
bad
year
sign.
2.
Yeah, but I mean, talking about just the trend for the Mavericks over the years had a bumpier first half of the season, then post All Star break they do really well, turn it on usually.
Mhm.
And like I said, it is early, but this is just kind of showing like, is this showing what's to come with this team? Like, will we be able to figure it out? I mean, we've got 3 game. Well, I mean now it's what is this? It's 6 straight games. So I mean we got 3 more games in this homestand to try and make something shake, all against teams that are you know more than likely playoff bound, at least right now.
Yeah.
And you just got to figure something out here. I mean, you
This
should have the wins that you should have came away with. Now you're gonna look at this like
do
what
or
could have
die.
been. Yeah, and do or die with these in a certain way, because if you come out of the break losing these next 3 as well, I mean it's just what do you do here with that duo being 1-7 to start things off? Like, the only
Well,
thing we can hope for tonight is that Joel Embiid doesn't actually play, because
well,
KD came back for the Suns, and
yeah.
we're back at home and all that. But I mean, what is this going to look like here when we have to deal with this? I mean, we're
Well,
going to be busy doubling KD, and then DeAndre Ayton's going to be wide open for some dunks.
yeah, well, I don't think that there's any reason to expect that Embiid won't play tonight. I think this is going to be the ultimate test. This is the kind of games last season that the Mavs weren't expecting to win, and then they'd go out there and they'd pull off an upset. And part of
Yeah.
how they got that mindset of we can play and we can win against anybody. They don't have that right now. I don't know if this is just something. I mean, we've heard a lot of talk from Jason Kidd about the team needs to grow up. Well, I mean, I think he does to a certain extent as well. I think that this is kind of a prove it kind of stretch here. If the Mavs can at least get a win or two instead of going 0-3, I'd feel a lot better going through
Yeah.
after if we come back next week and the Mavs are 0-3 in this stretch. I think that there might be some realistic changes that they won't. I don't think they're going to fire Kidd after the season. I think what's more likely is there's going to be some changes to his staff, and then we'll see from there. But um, I mean, you're talking about Jason Kidd, who's I think last season equaled his best performance as a coach, getting to the conference finals. I don't think he'd ever had a team that got further than that when he was out there in the Eastern Conference with Milwaukee and Brooklyn and everything like that. So I think that this is kind of he wants the team to grow up. I think that is something that needs to happen, but I think he does as well as a coach. And
Yeah.
hopefully getting Maxi Kleba back is going to help out a little bit in the interior. Not I mean, yeah. Well,
Just a little bit.
considering that Luka Doncic had to guard Anthony Davis in the fourth quarter on Sunday, I'd rather have Maxi Kleba against somebody like Anthony Davis.
Fair enough.
It's a little bit better. It's not that much better, but it's a little bit better from a size perspective, especially if he can play tall and taller than he actually is.
Right.
So I think that's going to be what is needed for right now. But how well it's going to work out, we're just going to have to wait and see.
The duo of Doncic and Irving, BJ, averaging 55.4 points per game. That make them the second highest scoring duo in the league right now. And
Yeah,
then
is
just
it?
imagine if they figure it out and win these close game situations.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that I mean I think we are to a certain extent. It is a little concerning, but
Mm.
that's exactly what you just said is why I don't think we should be as worried. These aren't getting blown out. These are close games. Yes, the 27-point lead really freaking stinks. It really hurts to blow
Yeah.
that game, but it's not like you were getting blown out by 27 and never put up a fight. The
Right.
Indiana game, the Minnesota game. I mean, Minnesota's a playoff team at the moment. You've got Sacramento in overtime. That was a playoff team at the moment. The Lakers are, I mean, we'll talk more about them here in just a second, but they're certainly not out of it. I mean, they've been playing better since the All-Star break, and that, could have been something that if that gives them momentum to go on a run to the play-in tournament, then, I mean, that's just because of what they were able to do at the deadline.
And you mentioned the Lakers, so we might as well get that transition in right now.
Yeah.
Lakers, LeBron James, gonna have he's got a foot tendon injury to be
Hmm.
reevaluated in 3 weeks.
Yeah, I've
So
got the clip right here. It was Sunday against the Mavericks when James was driving for a basket and fell down and landed on it, and you can see he says it popped. I felt it pop.
LeBron, nice cut and fake. And that's going to be a foul. And LeBron James is holding his right lower foot area. That's not good news for the Lakers.
I heard a pop. I heard a pop too. Yeah, I heard a pop. Yeah, I heard a pop.
The Lakers will not be able to withstand any kind of prolonged absence by LeBron James. That's an easy one. But like I've seen him do so many times, Doris, when he turns his ankle, he'll tie up his shoe and be able to finish the game.
Put the cape on.
Yeah. For 20 years. Here's another look at
He
it.
back cuts, tries to get Powell off his feet, decides to put it on the deck.
It happened on the plant.
Oh, he didn't want to put weight on that right foot.
Yeah.
So he makes the move. There's the plant. Oh, see that ankle?
Yeah.
Just sort of lean in a little bit. But watch him when he lands. He did not want to come down on that right foot.
There was an inadvertent whistle on the play. There was no foul.
He's holding that right
Yeah.
foot up, so he's not planting on it.
We were talking about LeBron James with Darvin Ham prior to the game tonight. And he talked about the incredible way that he maintains his body through the years. And
so you can see he's a gamer. He played through it, but you see him at the end of the game in the tunnel. He had a bit of a limp, and like you said, he's going to be reevaluated in 3 weeks. Drew.
Yeah, I think he might have helped his case if he had just gone in right then,
Yeah.
and might not be as serious, or you might not have had to wait as long to get reevaluated again
Hmm.
had he just gone ahead and gone back to the locker room. But
Yeah.
stubborn, you want to play. I mean, you got to play through it. I mean, you don't know
That's
how serious it
LeBron.
is.
That's
Yeah,
LeBron for you.
for sure. But Lakers about to be without him for a while, BJ. I mean,
Yeah.
at least close to a month. That's depending on where the reevaluation is at in three
Hmm.
weeks. Um, they got a big win last night against
Yeah.
OKC. Good game from Dennis Schroeder. Can they continue winning without LeBron? They've got some games that seem winnable. They'll see the Rockets in this journey. They'll
Yeah.
see the Grizzlies though as well, and then some other daunting tasks. And
I was
how
gonna
do you
say,
think the Lakers will fare? Do you think they'll uh, be about where they are once LeBron returns, or in the play-in at least?
so here's the schedule. Here's how it looks going forward. They've got the Timberwolves coming to town tomorrow. They've got Golden State on Sunday. They've got the Grizzlies in town on Tuesday. Then they host the Raptors. Then they host the Knicks. Then they're at the Pelicans before they get that mentioned game that you said they're at the Rockets. Then they get the Mavericks coming to town, which I mean we'll know more in mid March about how that's looking. The Magic at home, the Suns at home, the Thunder at home this would be around where that 3 week mark where he'd be reevaluated. And then you get the back to back games against the Bulls, who, already kind of Patrick Beverly said this is where we're going to knock the Lakers out of the playoffs. He's already kind of predicting that 2 game stretch there on the 26th and the 29th is where the Lakers will be officially knocked out of postseason contention. I don't know if he's a soothsayer, Drew, but this is a really tough schedule going forward these next 3 weeks that they really could use LeBron James for. It's very possible. I'm not in the record of predicting records or anything like that. I'm not in the business of that. But I mean, you're looking at, Drew, worst case, I think here in the next 10, worst case 2-8. And that certainly is not going to be where they need to be in terms of, wanting to get to that play-in tournament. I think you're looking at maybe, depending upon where things are with Toronto, maybe you can steal a game in New Orleans or possibly get Golden State on an off night. If you can get through that span and stay about 5-5 if ish or so, if you can stay around 500, you've still got a good chance of being in consideration when LeBron James would return. I don't know if they get more than 4 or 5 in that span. That is just a brutal stretch of games coming up.
And not too bad when you consider some things that the Warriors are bad on the road.
Hmm.
This stretch for the Lakers. I mean, they got a bunch of home games, 5 more. These are
Yeah,
all at home, so they don't have to worry about travel or anything. So,
yeah,
and none of these are. Hold on. None of these are back to backs, so they don't have to
yeah,
worry about any of that.
yeah.
So I think they can sneak some, and you have to evaluate some of these other teams and how they are on the road.
The
Um,
next time they have a back to back is actually on the road when they go to New Orleans and Houston on back to back nights. Now, if they can steal that first one in New Orleans, you'd feel really good about them getting 2 wins in that back to back, which would be huge. But
right.
I mean, no, nothing's a guarantee in the league these days.
Yeah, I think they get at least one of those. I think it's not too bad. Maybe Mavericks get their revenge when they come to town. Maybe not. They could definitely beat the Magic.
Hmm.
I don't know if you can catch the Suns on an off night.
No,
You
I
you
don't
can
think you
you can
do.
you can get the Thunder, and you could at least split the Bulls right there. But it just depends on where both teams are
I
at.
mean, at that point though, Drew, when you say split with the Bulls, you've got 6 games left in the regular season after that
Yeah,
Bulls series. Is that going to
yeah.
be enough? Are you going to be in position at that point where those last 6 games where you don't have to go 6-0 just to get into the postseason? I don't know.
What the Lakers need is a stretch from Anthony Davis like he gave earlier in the season.
Yeah.
And maybe they can get through this with above 500 and put themselves in the play-in.
I mean, you're talking, Drew, right now. The Lakers are 1 game out. They're 11th place in the West right now. If they stay right around there, there's going to be some shuffling. Portland certainly not out of it. They're just a half game back. Oklahoma City's a game and a half back, but having lost to the Lakers last night was kind of their missed opportunity, if you will. It's really going to be tough to see them gaining a whole lot of ground, even though just from the loss column alone, right now they're only 4 back of Phoenix. But again, Phoenix has now gotten all the pieces together for the first time, and you don't feel like that's going to be a number that's going to get closer for the Lakers. You feel like that may be something that drifts a little bit further back.
We shall see. Could have some good play from LA coming up. Who knows? Speaking of good play, Damian Lillard had a good night not too long ago, and the NBA was a little bit suspicious. So they had Damian Lillard submit to a drug test. Dame was like, "Are y'all serious?"
It's not like Damian Lillard hasn't done stuff like this before, though.
Yeah,
Drew,
this is normal.
Exactly, but I guess I can understand their point of view because Drew, Lillard had the second most made 3-pointers in a game in NBA history. He's the 8th player all time to score 70 or more in a single game, and he's the only one that's done it has a game that is 70 or more points, 5 or more boards, 5 or more assists, and 10 plus 3-pointers made in a single game. It was just an incredible night. Want to showcase what he did if you missed it the other night.
Very accessible all the time. Fans had a great time taking pictures with various individuals. Here's Dame out way outside. Grant with it, out on top to Little. Over it comes to Dame. Elevates for 3. That's a deep one, and he reeled it in. Oh, man. Garfield High School in Seattle. Dame double team, spins between defenders into the lane. He motors right to the rack and laid it up and in. And this is what he has been doing particularly well, getting to the line. Recovered by Little. Eason will give Dame to Christopher, and Christopher on his heels as Dame sees that and goes to work. Trying to power up on a tip jam was Martin Jr. Couldn't quite secure it. Blazers the other way on the reverberation. It's Dame into the lane. Spinning on a reverse up and in. Tucked it in beautifully. He's got 27 tonight.
Now he's got to finish the job, though.
Reddish for Watford. Lillard sets his feet, leans back a 3. Got it, Damian Lillard. 7 threes on the night and 10 attempts. He has 36. Şengün on the attack. Missed that one. Right at the rim. Reddish the other way. Dame, a deep one. Buried it. Damian Lillard from long range, way out in the deep water.
With experience, and you learn, no, things are very different when he's out there.
Dame streaks to the cup and scores on the scoop. Dame pops out, comes off the screen, shooting for 3. Drilled it. Windmilling his arms, Blazers by 10, a burst into the lane, flushed him with a right hand. Damian Lillard right down the boulevard with a right hand jam and the foul.
Give it up to get it back, pinned down from Trendon.
Comes off the screen. Tate with him, sets his feet, leans back for 3, got it. Damian Lillard, a career high. The 3-pointer for Lillard is 12th of the night. 64 points for Damian Lillard in 35 minutes, and the crowd is on their feet. Gives it back to Grant. Dame will sprint out on the sideline to get the rock. High dribble, into the lane, running right-hander, up and in. Damian Lillard with that runner. 71 points, a career high.
You know what my favorite stat from that game was, Drew?
What's that?
Lillard was 13 of 22 from behind the 3-point line. The Rockets as a team were 7 of 26. He on his own outdid the Houston Rockets from deep on Sunday night. They were 27% from downtown. He was whatever 13 of 22 is mathematically.
Rockets stink.
Yeah. I mean, I know it's been a bad year for Houston, but that was just an impressive performance from Dame time.
Atrocious. Shout out to Damian Lillard for being such a hooper. And I saw some stat that like Lillard had like the third most 60-plus point games behind like Kobe and somebody else. I know it's been days now.
Yeah,
I don't know
I
where it
think he's
is.
second with or passing like Michael Jordan,
Yeah,
and
he's
the
like
only
5 or
person that
6.
behind is Wilt Chamberlain now.
Yeah, that man's crazy. Um, Also, BJ, before we get on to BJ's best, I just wanted to see if you knew what was going on with John Morant.
I mean, I've heard a lot of things going on with John Morant, and
Fighting some
some
17-year-olds,
some of
bringing
them are.
9 guys up to the mall and being like, hey, where's the guy from Foot Locker?
Yeah,
Tell him
I
we're here.
mean, first he's fine in the West. Now he's fine as long as you're under the age of 18 to fight. I don't know.
Yeah, he's fine in the mall, I guess. I don't
Yeah,
know. That's
but
some
I
crazy
did
activities.
see something that seems to say that uh, Morant felt that he was being threatened, or he and his family were being threatened. So
Oh yeah.
I don't know if there's, I don't know what's going to come out of it. That's what he at least
My point
told
is
police.
he's still in the mix with stuff like just why is
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know. But I heard
I don't know.
I heard the kid threw something at his face, I think. It hit him in the
Yeah,
face and then Ja retaliated. So
something like that.
but
Yeah.
Ja just I don't know, man. I don't know.
I mean, it's crazy because there's been, the Grizz have been so good this year, but John Morant seems to be in the news every other week, and not for what he's doing on the court,
Yeah.
unfortunately. So,
And now, time for BJ's best.
all right, well, thank you kindly, Drew.
Oh.
Well, I was gonna say, you remember just a couple weeks ago we celebrated the greatness of LeBron James passing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for the uh, NBA's all-time scoring leader. This was back
Yeah,
almost a month ago now, Drew.
he was number one.
Yeah, he's number one now. The record he broke of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's lasted almost 40 years when before LeBron James broke his record back on February the 8th. Well, another record, this is not the NBA, but another record that has stood just as long, if not maybe even longer, Drew. We're actually talking about a 50-plus year old record. Could be broken later on tonight.
Really?
I don't know if you've heard about this.
Which one?
The all-time leading scorer in college basketball history.
Oh,
Yeah, Pistol Pete
men's side?
Maravich. Yep, men's basketball. Pistol Pete Maravich of LSU holds the record for the most career points by any college player of all time. But, Drew, Antoine Davis of Detroit Mercy is 26 points away, which
Of
is less.
where?
Are you aware?
Of where?
Detroit Mercy from
What
the
is
Horizon.
that?
It's a school in the Horizon Conference.
Never heard of it.
All right, well, I'll tell you about it.
I continue.
The Detroit Mercy Titans.
Uh-huh.
He's actually coached by his dad on this team. Antoine Davis, his dad is Mike Davis, and Detroit is the school he coaches at. They are going to play a second round game tonight against Youngstown State in the quarterfinals of the Horizon League Championship. In fact, that game is supposed to tip off at 8 o'clock Eastern. Antoine Davis is 26 points away from the most career points in Division I basketball history. Maravich's record is 36-67. Antoine Davis can pass that with 26 points tonight. In his career, Drew, Antoine Davis's average points per game has not dipped below 24 in any career season. And his average against Youngstown State this season has been 23.5 points per game. So he could, in theory, get there tonight.
He'll be going for it for
Oh,
sure.
absolutely. He had just the other night in their first round win over Purdue Fort Wayne. he had 38. His last few games, you go back his last 5, he's had 38, 34, 27, 31, and 30. So all 5 of those games, he's been above that number he needed. What allowed him to do this, Drew? Because, Pete Maravich only played 3 seasons at LSU and was averaging, 30 some odd shots per game easily every time out. And averaged 44 points per game while he was at LSU. But Antoine Davis, this is not just his 4th year. This is his 5th year at Detroit Mercy because of the COVID year. So he's gotten that extra year and was able to come back. And so he's got a really good shot at the record. But Drew, this could potentially be his last career game. If he does not get a win tonight, their season will come to an end because they are currently sitting under 500 on the year. Detroit Mercy's record is 14-18, and they're in the quarterfinals of the Horizon League Championship. They basically have to win the championship in order to play in the NCAA tournament next couple weeks away. And that's something that he wanted more than just the record. He says he'd rather play in the NCAA tournament than break the record. He says, quote, "I'd pick my team in the NCAA tournament over the record. That's something I've always wanted to be a part of, to be in the NCAA tournament. When my dad was at Texas Southern from 2012 to 2018, they ran that conference, which is the SWAC, and they always went to the NCAA tournament, and I always got to go with them. I experienced it from a spectator standpoint. I really want to be a part of something like that. If I had to choose between the two, I would definitely choose doing it with this team that we have and going to the tournament instead of just breaking the scoring record."
That's crazy.
Yeah, I think
literally insane.
I really think it's crazy because
Yeah.
this record has stood for 50 plus years, Drew. I mean, it's just like what we said about Kareem's record. We didn't think that anybody was going to come close to catching up to Pistol Pete Maravich, and he's got a shot, and he's got a really good shot. Like I said, he's averaged more in his last 5 than what he needs to break the record tonight. He's going to be trying, and plus he's going to be trying to get a win, because if he doesn't, their season will come to an end because they're under 500. I don't think they're going to be playing any more basketball upon their next loss this year.
This is legitimately the only chance for it to ever be broken.
I don't think anybody else is going to come close. So
no, because we're probably not going to get another COVID year to help people out.
Let's hope. Let's hope.
And
we didn't think we were going to get the first COVID year. But.
And everybody who's hooping out there, if you're averaging over 25 points or 24, 25 points a game multiple years in college, you're probably going to the NBA after your first couple of years, so you don't get to play all 4 years.
If you come in and average 26 in your first year, you probably go after year 1 these days. But he was in his freshman year 26 points per game, in 2018, in 2019 24.3. 2020-2021 season was 24 straight up, which was the COVID year. Last season, 21-22, he averaged just a 1/10 of a point off of 24. So he had 3 straight seasons, Drew, where he was at above 24 points per game. And then to top it off, last ditch effort to get there to try to break the record, he is averaging 28.4 points per game this season. So
BJ, if you're the coach, are you game planning to stop him tonight to make sure he doesn't get that record?
No,
you have to stop him anyway. He's probably the best player.
I was gonna say when you talk about he's gonna get some good looks. I don't think you can really plan to contain. But the thing about it is that he shoots a lot from downtown. You talk about Pistol Pete never had the 3-point line. Antoine Davis, he's a career 3-point shooter. He's over 38. Let's see, 38% his first year. He's just under 42 this season, Drew. He was a 38% shooter last season, 37.2 in the COVID year, and 32.4 was his lowest 3-point shooting percentage back in 2019. But he's going to shoot a lot from downtown.
Even better question: if their team is getting blown out, like they can't compete in this game tonight, or they do for a little bit, then they end up getting blown out by like halfway through the second quarter. Does he stay in the game and keep jacking up shots to try and get the record?
Yes. Yeah.
For sure.
I think. Sure? I mean, yeah.
What if he has an awful shooting night? Let's just say like up into
He's
right when it becomes a blowout, he's shooting like 2 for 11 tonight.
he's going to keep driving. He's going to keep trying to find points. I think he's going to play the entire
Yeah,
game because even if they're getting
probably.
blown out, Drew, what is he
He's
going
got
to
it
what is
right.
he going
Like
to
he doesn't
be?
have a tournament left. Like what does it even matter? I'll play all 40 minutes tonight to get 26.
Exactly. Like this could be his last. If
Yeah,
he
this
doesn't
is
win this game, Drew,
he's going out.
this is it. This is going to be the last
Yeah,
time he steps out on a college court, and so I can't imagine that even if he's having an off night shooting that he's going to get out there and
that's
not
probably
want to
all I
play.
would do. Like I don't need I'm not rebounding. I'm not assisting.
Yeah.
I'm not playing a whole lot of defense. Give me the ball. I'm shooting. I
Yeah.
need 26 tonight, boys. This is my last game.
26, the magic number.
And if y'all
So
hoop too, we may not have to get me so many shots because we can play again.
and Youngstown State is 23-8 on the season. They're the number 1 seed in the Horizon League tournament. They're pretty much the expected team, at least from the Horizon, before anything happens. With upsets, what you normally see in the conference tournaments, they're the team that's kind of expected to go to the big dance. So
they are
maybe
gonna
there's a
get
little bit of you haven't played in a little bit. You're got a lot of expectation, a lot of pressure to get to that big dance. Maybe you come out and Detroit Mercy's the one that
Stop
shows
it.
no mercy or whatever.
Stop it. This number 1 seed in that conference is not about to fumble
It's
against Mercy.
not like a number 1 seed in the conference hasn't lost in the quarterfinals before
I
or
know, but
anything
it's
like that.
not
So
tonight. Not tonight. But you can have the record, but you cannot have this game.
you can't have the win, but you can have the record. You got to choose one or the other. So,
Yeah.
but if he doesn't get the record, but they win, I think he'll be okay with that. I just think that
I mean, because he gets
he's
another chance to get the record.
yeah, exactly. With
Yeah,
these
so-
really close, I don't think that it's gonna. I don't know if it's gonna stand past tonight. So
I
something
wonder
to keep an eye on.
how long do they focus on winning the game as opposed to getting him to 26? Like, do you start off trying to win the game and like really compete, and like until when it gets
you're-
away from you, then you
Yeah,
start letting him shoot.
you're playing the first 30 minutes, win or go home. If it's a
Probably,
blowout
yeah.
at that point, then it's force feed Antoine Davis till he gets the record.
Pretty much.
And then once he gets the record, you can check him out. He can get the standing ovation, and I don't think they're going to do a ceremony because it's not a home game or anything like that. It's a neutral site. It's a tournament atmosphere, but
they'll
it
hold
should
a
be
special one for him.
recognized. It should be
They'll hold a
recognized.
special one for him.
Yeah.
It's not gonna hit the same, but he'll get it. He'll get it if he gets it.
This is something that is really close to happening. So it's something to keep an eye on. The game tonight is going to be an 8 p.m. start time Eastern on ESPN Plus.
Late night hoops.
Yeah.
I might have to turn that on just to see this guy play.
Prime time. Detroit
I'm thinking
Mercy
about
and Youngstown State
I'm
is
thinking about
is where we go with BJ's best this week, because we might see not one but 2 all-time scoring records in men's basketball fall in the same calendar year.
That's crazy.
It really is. It really is. So, even if he doesn't break the record, Drew, what he's done, he's number 2 all time. Nobody has ever gotten to this point beyond Pistol Pete Maravich. So he can at least take solace with that. But that is BJ's best for this week.
Wonderful. Like it. I hope I remember to turn that on tonight, or if I have power to turn that on tonight and watch. That'd be dope. I'll check
It will
that out.
be, yeah. I mean, that's a good thing with ESPN Plus is that even if you don't, once you get power back, you can turn on and watch the game without kind of knowing what happens, see if he's able to do it. So
Right, because I definitely don't have that team's notifications on.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, by gosh. Good stuff, BJ.
Thank you.
You guys that like basketball, you can get tuned into the NBA because it's time to bring that hoops action to the palm of your hands with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. This week, new customers like you can bet $5 to win $200 in bonus bets instantly.
That's right, Drew. A lot of good action tonight. We talked about it a little bit earlier. I got the Mavericks are the home favorites by 3.5. I don't know if that's just trying to get a sucker's bet or what, but I've got the Sixers winning this game tonight. And I'm hoping that I'm just a pessimist and I'm wrong, but I'm also trying to make some cash with some DraftKings bets. I also got the Clippers as a road favorite against the Golden State Warriors. Looking at tomorrow's action, you've got the Celtics, who are double-digit favorites at home against the Nets, and I'm right there with them. And you've got the game on ESPN between the Grizzlies and the Nuggets, the top two teams in the West. Denver's a favorite, and Denver's going to win that game. And it's probably going to be a blowout, just like the last time that those teams faced off. So that's what I'm looking at this weekend. You've got some other games on Saturday and Sunday. Bucks against the Sixers on Saturday night should be a good one. I like Milwaukee in that game. I like Phoenix in Dallas on Sunday. Plus, I also like the Warriors on the road against the Lakers, as well as the Knicks in Boston. I'm going to be a little bit gutsy here. I'm going with the Knicks to pull off the upset. They've been playing some really, really good hoops as of late. And then I'm going to go with the Grizzlies taking down the Clippers. 4 big games on Sunday. You can bet on all of them. You can get yourself a no sweat same game parlay for a limited time, Drew. All new and existing customers can get one every single day. Here's what you do in order to do that. You go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app today. You opt in. You place a same game parlay on any NBA game. And if it does not hit, you'll get a bonus bet back.
Download the app now and sign up with code TBPN. New customers can bet $5 on the NBA and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA with code TBPN.
Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. All right, Drew, before we get going back in for some AU hoops action, because like you said earlier, you were there. We've got some images that you took. I know how talented of a photographer you are, and you got firsthand up close and personal look at some of the action on Sunday. But before we get into that, Drew, what is on your mind for this week's installment?
Well, BJ, a couple of things. One, just relatively brief because I had something else, but I wanted to mention it anyway. Maybe get more in depth in another episode because we've got all month to talk about it, and that's Women's History Month. Shout out to all the ladies world round. This is your month for your recognition, your contributions to society, you just being you, and all the historic things that you have done over the course of our existence.
Absolutely.
So shout out to women worldwide. No, we got some dope moms. Shout out to them, and just Women's History Month in general. Wanted to put that at the forefront today of what's on Drew's mind. Yes, bet on women, invest in women, pay women, all that. And what's also on my mind, and what caught my attention for the second time in recent weeks, Juju Smith-Schuster versus AJ Brown. Get these guys some gloves.
This again?
Get these guys some gloves and let AJ go to work on it. Just let him go to work.
When did NFL Twitter become NBA Twitter, Drew?
Oh man, I don't know, but it's definitely getting interesting. All right, so there's a video that Juju Smith-Schuster put out on social media, along with a tweet alongside it. We're gonna watch this video together first. Okay. I'll share this with you. I'll share my screen.
All right.
And we'll just go ahead.
I may have seen this one. But let's watch it.
Hey, Miss Parker, how you doing? Oh, bro.
Filthy American spy. Tell me, where are the files containing the algorithm?
I put it somewhere. You'll never find it.
Take them out.
All right, now corners didn't even show up. Right? It's like we went to Jordan Peele's barber. All right, just take a look at Davis. Right? You pissed down your leg and you held him like a press conference. All right, bring it back. All right, you pissed down your leg and you pulled him like a kick dog. Man, it wasn't even his fault. You know, I think it's funny how y'all coaches want to seem stressed now. But y'all wasn't making no alterations to the game plan. Y'all was just like a stiff man catching a twerk. Y'all ain't know how to adjust to the motion. And after Rihanna killed half like Thanos, they was using Juju more than Nigerians. Y'all ain't do nothing about it. Well, I guess it's safe to say we all dropped the ball then, huh?
And I'm going. I'll see y'all next year. Make sure I get my money right. I'm doing whatever he does.
Sit your ass down, Davis. Damn, so this never would have happened if your mama was at corner. She couldn't hold on to a man if she tried.
Mr. President, did the balloons work? No, look. Aquarius Jefferson Brown. Can we trust him? I don't know. Doesn't matter. Retrieve the boy. Get rid of him. Before I get started, is the father currently here?
He's not. He is away on a business trip in China. Why, is everything okay? Is it a girl or a boy?
Well, see, that's the thing. There seems to be a file encrypted near the prefrontal cortex of the baby's head. I put it somewhere. You'll never find it. From what we can determine in code, it looks like you may be having a TikTok boy.
Oh my gosh.
Juju.
All that for that line to pop up at the end.
And I saw this on a tweet earlier today. It said AJ Brown wants smoke with Juju after he was mocking him, Jalen Hurts, James Bradbury, and the entire Eagles in that skit. AJ Brown responded on multiple platforms to Juju. Let's see if we can tell which one is first. Yeah, Twitter was first. Went to Twitter, said, "You really need to find you somebody else to play with," tagging Juju Smith-Schuster. "Don't let that ring get you beat the bleep up, because I'm with all the dumb bleep. I'm not going to speak on it no more."
Wow.
And then he proceeded to speak on it once more in Juju's Instagram DMs. Said, "I don't play them kids games. If you want to see me, I'm with it. You better go to Cabo and enjoy your ring and stop bleeping with me. Leave me off all your TikTok bleep bleep."
Oh my goodness. You know, I know that there was some outsourcing and some actors hired for some of that, but Drew, did you get the sense that Juju, when he's done playing football, might start making some movies? I mean, that was a pretty ingenious original script there.
I mean, he might just stay on TikTok, frankly. Like the rest of them. I don't know. There's some better creators on there that better get calls before Juju Smith-Schuster.
Make a TikTok movie or whatever.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking of one of the sounds that was on TikTok. It definitely not some of what I've seen lately because it's been altered, but one that it's a fighting sound. Us. Anybody who listens right now, they're watching TikTok, they'll know what I'm talking about. But
oh my goodness.
But yeah, a little goofy little skit now. But AJ and Juju, I think at this point, AJ just got to show up to his house because Juju's not going to reply. He's just going to make another skit and piss him off.
Yeah.
Over under 1.5 skits total for Juju.
Oh, definitely. I'm taking the over. 1.5 seems criminally low.
Okay.
I mean, especially if you're already counting this one.
1.5 more skits for Juju.
Still over.
Dang, so 2 more skits for sure? There's no way he makes it to a third skit.
Look,
no way.
I mean, here's the thing, though. We're not even a month removed from the meme that was tweeted out, and then the whole what prompted, with TikTok boy. And then we get, 2 weeks later, essentially, we get the response. So he put together, a couple minute long, like dramatic video.
It probably took that long to come up with it and get it performed. He probably started immediately.
Yeah. Oh, I bet he
last
did.
argument, and it was like, hey, because that other dude is on TikTok. I guess he might have already made his, and then just collaborated with him for the rest of it. Or something, but yeah, he was definitely planning that as soon as AJ said something the first time. So.
Oh yeah, we're still like, we could have 2 more skits before the NFL draft.
I'm gonna take the under. I'm gonna take the under because if he does one more, then AJ's just gonna kill him. He's gonna be at his house beating him up wherever he's at.
I don't think it'll come to that. I think
I bet you if he makes one more, we see some video later on after of AJ when he catches Juju in person. He's gonna go. He's gonna go. He's gonna go. I
I
think he's.
wonder.
I think
I
he's
wonder
about it
how.
because he's like, quit playing with me. Just take your ring and shut up. Be
I
good. Be
wonder. I
happy
wonder
with
how
it.
much is contrived though, because I mean, there's certain levels of these guys do get along to a certain extent, with each other because they're all part of the NFL brotherhood or anything like that. I don't know if it's contrived, but it sure is interesting if something's going to develop in terms of a rivalry there, then
Ah,
I'm very intrigued to see where it goes
I don't
from
know
here.
about rivalry. AJ would be offended you said that. We're gonna send him this clip. And be like, think you're gonna have a rivalry with Juju?
I don't think he has enough care. I'm not Juju. I'm not saying this. I don't think he's going to care what this guy has to say about it.
Yeah, he doesn't care what Juju has to say either, but he wants to fight him because he's
Well,
talking.
I was going to say he cares a little bit more than he lets on that he doesn't care because otherwise he wouldn't have even paid any attention to the silly little skit.
True.
So
True. And that's what's on Drew's mind.
awesome stuff. That was well worth a laugh. I'm telling you, I have seen that. I got a good chuckle out of that again though.
Heck
Um, all right, so last weekend was week 1 of AU Athletes Unlimited's Pro Hoop return here in Dallas at the Fair Park Center. And you were there on Sunday, got some good action shots. We'll be showing them throughout here as we talk about it. But kind of what stood out to you as we kind of look through some of these games? What was your impressions, and what are you looking forward to here in week 2?
What stood out to me was just the energy of everybody there. It's almost like and realistically, some people are. Some people are kind of playing for a chance to be at training camp and things like that, like where their new deal is going to be. It was kind of a thing for some players last year. Taj Cole got a camp contract. Lexi Brown got a new team from her performance in AU. Izzy had a big year last year, was defensive player of the year, and that showed in her defensive uh, prowess on the court this past season. And everybody's just getting to show their stuff out here. It's been good to see. I've only got to see one day, and I watched some on League Pass and things like that. So I've
Mm-hmm.
gotten to see a good bit of games. Um, so there's a lot of players who are really showing out that are doing a little bit more than you would expect them to, and some players not doing as much as you'd expect them to. Odyssey Sims being one of those that's doing a whole lot and leading in the points total right now. It's 2,128, and her team's only got one loss, and that was to Izzy's team, I believe, in the first game of the season. And that
Yeah.
Izzy's team went undefeated in week 1, and Odyssey and them got revenge last night. So uh, it's been really fun, and some players that I didn't get to see a ton of during the season, whether it be me missing their actual games or them just not getting as much playing time because they playing behind superstars. Kirsten Bell has been fun to watch. Getting to see Teresa Plaisance again, former Dallas Wing, a lot of former Dallas Wings out there, as well as current Dallas Wing Veronica Burton out there playing as well and getting in her groove because she's going to be the main point guard this year, more than likely, unless unless they surprise us and start dominant point guard and have Veronica come off the bench. Um, but yeah, some work out there. People like Crystal Bradford who are playing really well out there. Going into yesterday's game, she was averaging 17 and 13, I think. The only real thing that's been bugging her, she's been going along, is the free throws, as a as they've said on the broadcast. But she's a dog out there for real. I mean, as soon as she can knock down a free throw, I mean, like, hello teams. But I mean, they should be looking at it anyway. She'll be able to get down free throws. I mean, people have a little bit of off nights every now and then. I mean, it's not a big thing. She provides a whole lot uh, to a team aside from the free throw line, where um and a lot of other players in this league, the Courtney Williams of the world, Asia Clarendon, Jordan Canada in this as well. So it's just been fun to get to see these ballers up close and personal outside the season, because I mean sometimes you don't get to catch everybody's game, and especially if you're let's just say you're a Dallas Wings fan that's just a one track fan, you only watch Wings games, you don't get to see Kelsey Mitchell balling out at AU, you don't get to see Odyssey Sims and Alyssa Smith. things
Yeah,
like that. So it's been good to see these mixes and the way they draft in AU to shuffle up the teams each week. So how players play with each other, and how new teammates are playing with each other. Izzy and Courtney Williams, Lexi Hall, Kelsey Mitchell, Nalissa Smith, out here. Kelsey and Nalissa on the same team right now. So you get to see those the fever teams, the sky teams, out here getting some extra time in together before the season begins. Um, so yeah, it's been really fun to watch. It's always good games too, and
yeah,
I like the point system that they've had. We've talked about before that you can get points on both ends of the floor, whether offense and defensively, so you don't have to just be scoring points to be contributing a fair
absolutely.
amount
Yeah,
here. So I think AU is awesome, and especially for anybody that's a player who's been in the league before that didn't have a team, and this is where you want to show your stuff. Your coaches are going to be watching AU. Coaches are watching AU. Coaches are at AU. So
yeah,
this is where, like I said, players like Lexi Brown, found her new team last year, probably in part because of AU. Um, Taj Cole got a chance at a training camp contract with the Sun last year because of AU. Uh, so a lot of things have happened because AU's been here for these players, and they get extra looks and opportunity because it's about what they see. It's about what these coaches see out here on the tape, what they see in action against the competition that they're going to be playing during the season. Like, yeah, there's a lot of dynamic college players out here, and there's some good ones coming out in the draft. But how do you fare against the players that you're going to be playing all summer long? And you can see that in AU. College players don't get that because they're still playing in college right now, so they don't get to play AU and test their skills against WNBA players before they start their first season. But going into second year, players like Veronica Burton and things like that, I think this is a good place to slide into to get you some more reps and get used to the bigger role that you'll be having in this season. And like I said, um, the thought coming into it is that Veronica's going to be the starting point guard because she's actually a point guard, and that
yeah,
Diamond will probably come off the bench. But who knows how much in the mix they're going to want that to be? Maybe Diamond is the point, and Veronica's the first one to come off of the bench and take her spot and come in. So I don't know what they plan to do. As far as that goes, we'll see. Still got time to tell in that regard, and they still got players to draft and maybe some things to shuffle around. So we'll see how that goes. But BJ, you got to make yourself out to AU at some point, man. We
I
got
know.
three
I
more
was,
weeks of it after this. I mean, you got
yeah,
time, man.
I do. I'm
Some good
hoping to
seats too.
maybe we could get out there next weekend perhaps. So with everything going on last weekend, obviously last night's results, Nalissa Smith's team you mentioned got the win 86-84 over Izzy's team, and then Odyssey Sims' squad winners 90-84 over Team Hillman. Now you get Izzy versus Team Hillman tomorrow, as well as Nalissa Smith and Odyssey Sims' squads squaring off, and other action on Saturday as well. What are you looking forward to from the rest of this weekend over at the Fair Park Coliseum?
I'm looking to continue to see, players show up and show out. The players at the top, seeing if they can stay there. Players like Kelsey Mitchell, see if she can and rise or not. But I'm just kind of I'm not really looking for anything in specific.
Okay.
I'm enjoying basketball in general. Sometimes when you're out there taking photos, you get kind of lost and just making sure you get a proper image instead
Good
of
shot.
watching
Yeah.
the game. So I try to get a good balance of that. When I'm not there, I'm definitely tuning in, but get a little bit of both while you're there as well. But just to see how these players progressed over the years and just see how their games have changed or not over time, and see what players that I don't know about could possibly contribute in the WNBA. So I mean, there's a number in here that I don't know a ton about, but that I feel like could contribute to a WNBA roster or have the chance to. So
Yeah.
still plenty of time left. There's multiple weeks, and a lot could shuffle around with how things are going right now. But um, I like it. I like the
Absolutely.
I like the league, and it's been great to see. Izzy and all the former Wings players that I know out there, Alicia Gray,
Hmm.
Teresa Plaisance, and oh my goodness, I'm missing one. Teresa Plaisance and
Uh,
name is escaping me.
Veronica.
Well, she's a current Wing. I thought I had
Yeah.
another former Wing out there, but that's probably it. But yeah, it's just good to see all those current informers from over the
Hmm.
years that you've been in the locker rooms with. Um, yeah,
Yeah,
it's great.
absolutely. And you mentioned shuffling around. Here's the top 10 so far with a couple games each remaining this weekend. Odyssey Sims is your leading point totaler with 21-28. She is joined in second by Nelissa Smith, who's got 20-42, and Izzy is third with 20-23. Huh, that's appropriate, wouldn't you say, Drew? They're the
Hmm.
only three players that so far are over that 2,000 total point threshold. The rest of the top five, Lexi Holes in fourth with 18-25. Kelsey Mitchell just a smidge behind at 18-17 in fifth. Naz Hillman is sixth at 16:05. Avina Westbrook is seventh with 15:64. Kirsten Bell at 15:17 comes in at eighth. Teresa Plaisance at ninth with 14:87. And Jordan Canada rounds out the top 10 with 13:97. So it's been a lot of good play so far this weekend, or the past couple of games you saw last night. A couple of two possession at least losses, no more so than that, I should say. And then last weekend a lot of good solid action, with more expected this weekend as well. So it should be fun. You're going to be there just Saturday, or you're going to be trying to make it out there tomorrow as well.
I won't be able to make it out there tomorrow. I got some other business to tend to, but Saturday, hopefully, I'll make it back out there. I wish they'd have kept the games on those Sundays. I like coming up there on that
Yeah,
on that Sunday, but the rest of the season looks like it's going to be Wednesday games, Friday and Saturday games.
yeah,
So that's
understandable.
what you're looking at.
I think that kind of, I think you get to, a little less competition on some of those days now with a couple different tournaments starting up, here in the next couple weeks, and Fridays and Saturdays will definitely be, um, there'll definitely be some competition, but Wednesday should be able to get a lot of eyeballs on some of those games as well. So
Yeah, and welcome in Carbon and Cam in here. Appreciate you guys hopping in. Forgot to mention that just a second ago. But yeah, AU Hoops. If you guys are not watching it, you guys in the chat, make sure you guys check it out. It's shared on my social medias and on the Lowdowns. Athletes Unlimited. Um, Playing on League Pass. So if you're a person that's already got it, check that out. If you got CBS Sports Network, that'll come on
mhm.
Saturdays. I believe those are the ones that'll play on CBS Sports Network. So there's chances to check it out. So if you can, do it, do it, do
Yeah,
it.
I was gonna say this weekend it looks like. Well, it doesn't look like they have any on CBS yet. That might change, but it's not listed on CBS SN on Saturday. But
Okay, yeah. It looks like this is gonna be League Pass probably still for
yeah,
these.
League
Yeah,
Pass and
everything League
Valley.
Pass. Let's see. When is
Yeah.
the next CBS Sports Network game? Is there another one? Ooh, doesn't look
Yeah,
like
you
it
got to wait
actually.
until the 15th. It's week 4
Yeah,
is when
week
you'll get some.
four. Week four, you don't get it, and that's yeah. Those games start at 6 Central, and
Sounds
then
good. Definitely going to be worth watching too.
the very last day of games is on, or one of them is on CBS Sports Network. The first one.
Okay.
So just keep an eye on Athletes Unlimited social medias and see when those games are going to be at for those that do want to check those out. But yeah, time for some with it or quit it, BJ.
Yes, sir. You got the fresh new notebook that we get to debut this week, don't you?
Well, I didn't end up getting the notebook I wanted to get, so I'm using one that I had laying around. This is not my
Okay.
official one.
It's
I will
not the
soon
official.
I will soon transfer these words onto the official one when I get the official
Sounds good. Sounds good.
one. I've got a temp notebook. Temp
A
notebook. Yeah.
temporary notebook is better than no notebook.
All right, the other
At all.
legendary one is right here. All right, let's get it going. Number one, with it or quit it. The Texas Rangers, BJ, in spring training right now. You know that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Those
Yeah.
Texas Rangers. Do you believe that those Texas Rangers will make the playoffs this season? With it or quit it?
Mm. They've definitely improved a lot over the offseason. They've got a
Mm-hmm.
lot of pitching depth, especially in the
Mm-hmm.
rotation.
Mm-hmm.
The question is going to be the bullpen. I think that they've added some
Mm-hmm.
good pieces. Maybe there's
Good question.
some youth coming in for the team. I'm still going to say quit it though. Still going to
Ooh,
say quit it
dang.
though. I'm
Travel
hoping I'm wrong, but I'd like to see them improve and be around 500, maybe even get above 500. But I mean, you're talking about in the American League West alone, you've got the defending World Series champions. You've got Seattle Mariners, who are a team that won 90 plus games last year, last 2 seasons, in fact, Drew. You've got two of the best players in the game on the same team in Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani. Now, obviously, there's some issues and they always seem to never live up to that potential, but that doesn't mean that they're not talented and they couldn't win some games if they stay healthy. It's a tough sledding
I,
to
I don't
get one of
have
those 6 spots. I'm going to say quit it. I'm hoping I'm wrong. Let them prove me wrong, and we can laugh about how stupid I was back in February or March when we revisit this in October.
that. We
How's
shall
that?
see. Let's go Rangers. A little win
Let's go
call.
Rangers, indeed.
Number 2. Athletes Unlimited Hoops, BJ, that we just got done talking about not too long ago,
Mm-hmm.
should stay on WNBA League Pass moving forward. With it or quit it.
Can I make an addendum, or do I just have to answer the question as is?
Just gotta answer the question as is.
Okay, I'll say with it, but I also like to see more of a national presence. I know that maybe that's something they're working out with their media partners. I'm hoping that it's not just CBS Sports Network. Going forward, I'd like to see if maybe I get it. This time of year, there's a lot going on, and it's tough to kind of get that national presence. Maybe there's some way that NBA TV could show some games, either on tape delay
They
or
won't.
something like that. I know they
They
won't,
don't
but
even show vintage W games.
they've shown some W, but not vintage W.
Nah,
So
yeah.
I don't know if but I want to see more, of a enhancement in terms of where we get more options available as opposed to just seemingly being league pass, especially Drew, because you saw how many times they're listed as being a part of Bally. You know,
Mhm.
uh, I don't know how long Bally's going to be able to sustain that, and so I don't know what's going to happen with all of the things that Bally has rights to. They're gonna have to figure something else out as an
Back to Fox.
alternative. But I'm gonna say with
Fox
it.
Sports Southwest coming back, baby.
Uh,
Come on.
Perhaps
Bring
if
bring
that's more of a Disney. No, that'd be a Disney thing. Disney didn't want the regional sports, so
well,
we'll see.
something's coming that's not Bally, and it could be anything could be better than Bally. Okay. 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 But yeah, I mean, I didn't mean
Yeah,
just like straight up on League Pass, because I mean, if you're not a WNBA fan that already has League Pass from the previous season, you're screwed.
yeah,
You're screwed.
yeah.
Unless you want to go ahead and buy League Pass
Yep.
super early, which I mean, that's on you. But um, but yeah, I mean, always add the national games with it. So anybody who was a fan last year, luckily gets to utilize it for free this year, and that way. And if you didn't have League Pass or you're new to the league, you can catch it whenever you can when it's on that national network.
Yeah.
All right, number 3, and I think you already answered this, but I got a little bit more specific.
Okay.
The Dallas Mavericks will not fire Jason Kidd at all. With it or quit it.
At all, meaning this
He,
season, or at all, like he's going to coach
he's
until
the
he dies?
he is the coach of the future for the Dallas Mavericks to lead Kyrie and Luka to a championship.
I don't know if he's gonna. I'm gonna say quit it. I don't think that he's got that same kind of. I'm not saying that he's not respected or anything like that, But you're talking about, this is Jason Kidd, who's come in after Rick Carlisle, led the Mavericks to their only title, had a long career, and finally it just they realized, somebody else needed to come in to, help utilize and get the most out of Luka Doncic. I don't know if that's, if Jason Kidd has gotten himself that level of, of coaching, that he's got that kind of security. I mean, when Dirk and Kidd and those guys initially were coming up, they had Avery Johnson. Even Avery Johnson left, and they had to get Rick Carlisle in place. So I think Kidd is not in danger of losing his job anytime soon. But I'm not saying he's the coach of the future. So I'm gonna say quit it
Oh,
with that in mind. But I think in 5 years time, I think he is more likely than not to still be here in 5 years. But beyond that, I don't think
wow.
so.
Okay, so you think we've got Jason Kidd locked in for the next 5 years?
I think
Okay.
I'm not saying I think he's locked in for the next five. I think it's more likely than not that he'll be here in 5 years,
Okay,
though,
okay, BJ.
unless they just
If
could have a significant collapse or something that
if the
we don't want.
Mavericks if the Mavericks lose in six or less in the first round of the playoffs, do you fire Jason Kidd after the season?
No,
Okay.
no,
All right.
no.
Number 4. Whataburger spicy ketchup. Mm-mm. Is the best ketchup in the world. With it or quit it.
Maybe this is a little bit bold, but I really don't care for the spicy ketchup. I like the fancy ketchup a little bit better. I
Wow.
just it's not that I don't like
Really?
the yeah,
I
I'm gonna say quit
almost
it. I I
I
I
almost made
don't
it spicy versus fancy, but I didn't know how you felt about
yeah. I was gonna say it's not that I don't I can't do spice or anything. I just don't like the taste of it. I'd rather have just the
it.
regular ketchup taste as opposed to the
Spicy
spicy ketchup
is I
taste.
don't even eat regular ketchup anymore. Well, I take that back. I mean, if I get a burger from somewhere, they're putting that's not Whataburger, they're putting regular ketchup on there. But
Yeah.
by choice, spicy ketchup has been in my fridge ever since I have lived in this place. So almost for a year and a half, almost.
Heck yeah. Heck
All
yeah.
right. Well, I think it's the best ketchup, BJ. Take that.
Well, all right. I mean, to each his own. Like I said,
Yeah,
it's this is if I had asked you a question, you would have been with it. This is why you asked me the question.
that's right. Number 5, the nickname, the legendary nickname, as everybody knows, Black Mamba, is a better nickname than the one that Jason Williams has as White Chocolate. With it or quit it.
Oh yeah, I'm 100% with it. I
Oh,
like both.
easy.
I like both, but I mean, when you're talking about what kind of personality Kobe Bryant was, the Black Mamba nickname was perfectly suited for him. Kobe was the kind of player that struck fear, and I mean, when he was out there on the court, you never knew when he was going to pop off and go for 50 or 60 or even 81 like he did, 15 plus years ago now. I think that's one of the best, if not the best, basketball nickname we may ever see. So I'm right there saying that it's better than White Chocolate, even though I like that one too. I think that's one of the best nicknames ever given out in the league.
Go. All right. Well, BJ, that is with it or quit it.
Yeah, Drew, and that's this episode, is it not?
That's the episode. Ladies and gentlemen, episode 26 is complete. And we would not be complete without telling you to go get your merch from T Public and Fanatics. When you go on to T Public, ladies and gentlemen, it is not sale time. So you have to get a certain amount ordered price wise. $80 or more, and you can get that shipped free to you. And trust me, you want that free shipping because if you get, let's say, some stickers and a t shirt, they're shipping that separately. One is coming in your mailbox just like your regular mail, then the other one is coming in package form. So you want that free shipping instead of having to pay for two different items to be shipped. So when you are shopping, even though a sale is not going, you can still win, ladies and gentlemen, with free shipping like that on TeePublic.
Absolutely, Drew. And over on Fanatics, they've got a clearance sale going on right now. You can get up to 70% off. Plus, you can get free U.S. shipping on orders over $34. So take advantage of the free shipping over here, just like you would at T Public by using that code 34SHIP, 34SHIP. You know, a lot of teams are locking in their conference championships across the NCAA conference tournaments either have started or are going to start across the land here in the next week or so. We'll be deep diving all of that next week on the show. But there's merch you can get available now on Fanatics, Drew, if you would like to get, and you can look at maybe some St. Patrick's Day deals coming up, spring training for MLB. There's a lot of stuff in store that you can find over on Fanatics if you care to. So just look in the description for our link and get you some shopping done just in time for all the March Madness.
Yes, and when you shop with Fanatics with us, it helps us continue making this content for you guys. So think of us when you shop at Fanatics and shop with the Lowdown. Ladies and gentlemen, like BJ said earlier, that's the end of this episode, especially officially now. You can go follow us on social media, though, at _lowdown. That's THA_lowdown on TikTok, Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. Ladies and gentlemen. And without further ado, we will see you guys once again next week for our 27th edition of The Lowdown. Kyrie.